All right. We're going to Pennsylvania. Title says, nurse accused of administering lethal doses of insulin to patients, killing 17. True Crime Daily, published November 2nd, 2023, and this is in Harrisburg. A 41-year-old nurse accused of killing patients with a fatal amount of insulin is now facing additional murder and attempted murder charges for allegedly mistreating 19 other people at 5 different medical facilities. On Thursday, November 2nd, Pennsylvania Attorney General Michelle Henry announced that her office charged Heather Presti with 2 counts of first-degree murder, 17 counts of attempted murder, and 19 counts of neglect of a care-dependent person. She was previously charged with 2 counts of homicide, 1 count of attempted murder, 1 count of aggravated assault, 3 counts of neglect of a care-dependent person, and 3 counts of reckless endangerment in May. The main charges stem from alleged crimes that occurred at Quality Life Services in 2022. Presti allegedly administered too much insulin to a 55-year-old and 83-year-old man in December 2022, and a 73-year-old man in August 2022. The 55-year-old and 83-year-old patients died as a result, while the 73-year-old man survived but required emergency medical treatment. According to the Attorney General's office, only one of the patients was diabetic. Further investigation revealed that between 2020 and this year, Presti allegedly did the same to additional victims while she worked as a registered nurse for Concordia at Rebecca Residence, Bel Air Healthcare and Rehabilitation, which is a Guardian, Quality Life Services, Chicorra, Premier Armstrong Rehabilitation and Nursing Center, and Sunnyview Rehabilitation and Nursing Center. The patients ranged in age from 43 to 104 years old, and some were diabetic, while others were not. The Attorney General's office said Presti often administered the insulin during overnight shifts when staffing was low and the emergencies would not prompt immediate hospitalization. In total, Presti allegedly killed at least 17 patients and mistreated 22 while they were under her care. The first-degree murder charges stem from cases where physical evidence is available to support the cause of death. And the attempted murder charges are from incidents where the victims either survived the excessive dosage of insulin or the cause of death could not be determined, according to the Attorney General's office. On Thursday, November 2nd, the Honorable Mara Palumbi, arraigned Presti. She remained held in the Butler County Prison without bail. Henry said in a statement, "The allegations against Miss Presti are disturbing. It is hard to comprehend how a nurse, trusted to care for her patients, could choose to deliberately and systematically harm them." Wow. Holy shit. 17 patients, huh? Crazy. Kind of funny that she was transferred to so many different rehabilitation and nursing centers, and no one did a background check on her, or there was just no sort of information that was passed on from hospital to hospital. I read a case about this doctor that, while not necessarily the same, I'll tell you what I think the link is. This doctor would inseminate women and from his own semen, but they were there to go through the process of selecting sperm and whatnot, and the specific sperm, but he would use his own. Another case is the famous case of another nurse that worked at elderly care facilities, and she killed a whole bunch of elderly people, and no one could figure out why that hospital or nursing center, I guess. There were so many people dying there, and it was her. She was injecting them with something. What do all these things have in common? It's this weird make-believe deity that some doctors and nurses, because they deal with end-of-life patients or patients that require their care, people that go to hospitals are in need of something because something hurts, because they're going through something, whatever the case may be. You see a doctor, you see a nurse. A lot of doctors and nurses are great people, and they genuinely care for their patients, and they want the best for them, and they go through the whole doctor-patient procedure, and it's completely normal. But some doctors and nurses, they ride this huge high horse, and they think of themselves as the owners of the lives of patients that go and see them, and they commit these heinous crimes. I mean, think about it. If you would at least maybe want to give this person, a case that we just read, the benefit of the doubt, you would say, she wasn't good at her job, and she was just injecting people with insulin that were diabetic, but she didn't know how much insulin she was giving these patients, but she was giving it to patients that didn't even have diabetes. Diabetes. I apologize. It's just something I picked up from a TV show, and it's always stuck with me. It's from It's Always Sunny, but that's neither here nor there. It's diabetes. Okay, sorry. Some of the patients didn't even have it, and she still injected them with insulin. So it was very much premeditated. She knew exactly what she was doing, and no wonder she has so many charges against her. But think about it. It's that weird fetish that people have, that they want to be able to play God, and doctors do that all the time. So that's why that doctor that I mentioned beforehand, and he inseminated all these women that had gone to the sperm bank to this doctor because they wanted to form a family with specific sperm that they had picked out. But that's not what happened. And when I think one or two of the children, when they grew up, they did genealogy tests on themselves, and they found out that they had a whole bunch of siblings spread across the United States. And that's how they figured out that this doctor had done all this. Crazy. And again, it's the Jonestown actually started in the Midwest, Indianapolis, Indiana, if I remember correctly, and then he moved to California. Okay, yeah, you're absolutely correct, DeRay. That could well be, but it was in California at some point. California is still, though, breeding ground for cults, because we have had a whole bunch of cults here, and we still do. I know a lot of, not a lot of, I'll be honest with you. I've known 3 people in my life up until this point that have, first off, I hope you're having a great night. Thank you so much for being here. Very rude of me for not just giving you a quick shout out and saying welcome in. I hope you're having a great night. But yeah, 3 people I've met so far in my life that they were raised in cults, and they were raised in cults that are very much in the outskirts of California. I met this one person. She was in a cult that was in the mountains of, or in a certain area of Chico. That's really up north to where I'm from, and that person was raised in the mountains and stuff like that, and that was a whole thing. The cult leader went to jail, and it was really bad. She told me some really weird stories of stuff that happened up there. But yeah, nonetheless, there's a whole bunch of cults here in California. But specifically, the case that we're reading about right now, it's, again, that sense of holier than thou that a lot of doctors and nurses have. And I think that that's what happened with this case specifically. She is on this high horse of she's better than everyone else. And it's just this thing about holding someone's life in your hand that it's crazy. Some people jerk at the idea. It brings them extreme anxiety. That's not something that, it's just a crazy thought to have. But there's just some people out there that, given that situation, dude would go on this power trip and they would cause serious damage. Hence why we have this nurse that killed some of them, but the total count of attempted murder was 17. I think she only killed 2 people, which were the 55-year-old and the 83-year-old. That I guess out of the 3, only one was diabetic. That's crazy. Insane. Let's see. The 2 links that we have here are just from the Attorney General. I guess this happened. So they announced the charges against. Her name is Heather, on Thursday, November 2nd. This all happened in August 2022. All the crimes started in 2022. So yeah, hope you enjoy your time in prison, lady. Oh, that is so crazy just to think of. Out of all those people, just out of curiosity, Okay, so I'm asking Google, what happens if you take insulin and you're not diabetic? Let's see what it says. So, however unsupervised, I'm just reading the first one option here. It's from the National Institute of Health. And it says, however, unsupervised administration of insulin into a non-diabetic may lead to many serious downfalls in the blood glucose level, which may prove to be fatal. Therefore, these practices are very dangerous. Okay. This is also from the National Institute. They asked what would happen if a non-diabetic injects insulin. It says the same insulin, if taken in overdose in these patients or in non-diabetics, can lead to hypoglycemic coma, which can have varied outcome from complete reversal to death. Since the introduction of insulin therapy in 1921, diabetics have used insulin overdose as a mode of suicide. Huh. Yeesh. Guys, I did not know that. I did not know that that was a form of a method of suicide by people that have diabetes. Let me know in chat. Did you guys know that? This is the first time I've ever heard of that. Crazy. I've obviously heard of, because I've experienced it in my family. A lot of people in my family have diabetes. I've heard of, what happens to you if you're a diabetic and you don't take insulin. But wow, the overdose of insulin as a method of suicide. I've never heard about that. But then again, that's how life works, man. You learn something new every day that passes. Isn't that something, huh? Wow.